This video is about Hercules battles until Minotaur attacks. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. In the dim glow of dawn, the air thickened with the scent of sweat and blood as Hercules, son of Zeus, prepared for battle. His colossal frame was silhouetted against the rising sun, golden light tracing the powerful curves of his muscles. On his shoulders hung the weight of destiny, a burden he bore with unyielding determination. "Today," he murmured to himself, tightening the grip on his club, "the earth will know my strength." The battlefield lay before him like a canvas, smeared with the remnants of past victories. Fallen warriors, honor-bound, rested in eternal silence, their stories woven into the very fabric of the land. Hercules took a deep breath, inhaling the courage of his ancestors, for today would not be an ordinary day. The sound of clashing metal and the cries of men echoed in the valley. A great war raged between the city of Mycenae and the marauding forces of Ares, god of war. Ares had sent forth his monstrous minions, grotesque beasts with scales like armor and fangs that dripped with venom, eager to sow chaos and despair. Hercules surged into the fray, a titan among men. As he approached the first line of enemies, his heart pounded in rhythm with the drums of war. He swung his club with the force of a tempest, cleaving through armor and bone alike. The cries of the fallen mixed with the songs of glory, and in that moment, he was both warrior and myth, carving his legacy into the annals of history. Onward, he roared, as he pushed through the throng, his voice a rallying cry that ignited the spirits of his fellow soldiers. They followed him like shadows, emboldened by his divine essence. Each swing of his club sent shockwaves through the battlefield, and the ground trembled beneath him, as if acknowledging the wrath of a demigod. Yet amidst the chaos, a foreboding shadow loomed. The skies darkened, and a figure cloaked in darkness emerged, a harbinger of destruction. It was Phobos, the embodiment of fear, sent by Ares to quench Hercules' valor. "You think yourself a hero, Hercules," he sneered, his voice slithering like a serpent. "Your strength is nothing against the tides of fate." Hercules, unfazed, met the dark god's gaze with unwavering resolve. "I am the son of Zeus. I fear thin air, leaving behind a chilling laughter that echoed through the valley. The battle raged on, and with every soul he saved, Hercules felt the weight of mortality. He fought not for glory but for the hope of his people. Each strike of his club, each foe felled, served as a tribute to the warriors who had fallen before him. Moments stretched into eternity as he faced wave after wave of Ares' minions. Yet, as the sun climbed higher, a deafening roar erupted from the depths of the earth. The ground quaked, and the air shifted, charged with an unnatural energy. The warriors faltered, glancing at one another with bewildered concern. Then, from the shadows of the war-torn fields, the Minotaur emerged, a creature of darkness, half man, half bull, its monstrous form glistening with bloodlust. The beast charged, crashing through fallen warriors like a tempest, its eyes ablaze with ferocity. A primal terror swept through the ranks, and even the bravest of soldiers faltered. "Stand firm," Hercules bellowed, raising his club high as the Minotaur reared for a second charge. It lowered its massive head, muscles rippling under taut hides, ready to gore any who dared to stand against it. "I will not let fear rule this day," the Minotaur bellowed, a sound that reverberated like thunder and charged at Hercules with relentless power. Time slowed, the world narrowed to the collision of two titans. With a deft pivot, Hercules sidestepped, swinging his club in a sweeping arc aimed at the beast's flank. The blow struck true, sending the Minotaur crashing to the ground. striking at the Minotaur's legs, trying to bring the beast down. Yet it retaliated with savage swings of its massive horns, sending men sprawling amidst the dust and despair. Hercules fought valiantly, and with each blow he faltered not, determination etched upon his face. "Together we can conquer this," he cried, rallying his warriors anew. They pressed forward, fear metamorphosing into fierce resolve. As Hercules gained ground against the Minotaur, something shifted in the air. A sense of foreboding washed over him, echoing the warnings of his mother Alcmene, who had always spoken of the whims of fate. He felt deep within that this battle was no ordinary clash. It was a turning point etched by the hands of the gods. With a final, desperate lunge, Hercules struck low at the Minotaur's knees, while his comrades surged forward. The beast fell, howling in pain, but its roar was choked into silence as it crashed to the earth. Dust cascaded upward, enveloping the battlefield in a thick cloud. As the smoke cleared, Hercules stood triumphant. The wounded but undaunted Minotaur sprawled at his feet. Cheers erupted from his warriors, but Hercules felt an uneasy stirring in his heart. The victory seemed hollow against the backdrop of fallen friends and the weight of the world upon him. But even as the cheers filled the air, a sense of dread settled like a veil over the land. The ground trembled once more, and from the ruins of the battlefield, shadows began to writhe and twist. A great darkness loomed on the horizon, heralding the true test of Hercules' might. The battle was far from over, and the heart of darkness had only just begun to awaken. In that moment of triumph, Hercules sensed an impending doom. A greater challenge awaited, and with it, the threads of destiny would weave a tale that sang of honor, tragedy, and the indomitable spirit of a hero. As the dust of the battlefield settled, the anticipation hung thick in the air. Hercules, drenched in sweat and blood, stood over the fallen Minotaur, a gaping abyss of uncertainty yawning before him. The cheers of victory felt distant, the echoes of his warriors' cries mired in a growing unease. The earth trembled beneath him, whispering secrets of dread. Is this truly a victory? Hercules pondered, gazing at the fallen beast, its massive form still twitching in its death throes. In the depths of his heart, he sensed that this day, once heralded by the sun, had morphed into something darker. The very land cried out, as if mourning lives lost. Suddenly, a booming voice sliced through the stillness, echoing through the valley like thunder. "Hercules, you have slain the Minotaur, but your true trial lies ahead." From within the swirling shadows stepped Hades, the god of the underworld, his voice laced with a sinister delight. "You have only awakened the spirits of the fallen, and their thirst for vengeance is insatiable." Hercules felt a chill creep over him. "I fear no specter, Hades," he declared, his voice echoing with defiance. "I am Hercules, son of Zeus. I will not be intimidated by the dead." "Brave words," Hades replied, a cruel smile twisting upon his lips. "But bravery will not shield you from the wrath of destiny." With a wave of his hand, the earth split open, revealing a chasm from which dark figures began to emerge, warriors clad in spectral armor, their hollow eyes burning with the fires of rage. "Join us, Hercules, or face our wrath," they cried in unison, their voices a haunting chorus of despair. Hercules steeled himself, for he had heard the tales of these vengeful as he gained ground, a new figure emerged from the shadows, Ares himself, the god of war, his presence a storm of chaos. Foolish demigod, Ares sneered, brandishing a sword forged in the fires of Olympus. You think you can defy the very essence of war? War is a choice, Ares. Hercules shouted back, refusing to back down. And I choose to protect the innocent. Ares lunged forward, a whirlwind of violence and fury. Their clash shook the battlefield, the air itself crackling with divine energy. Hercules felt the weight of every battle he had fought, the pain, the loss, the honor, as he met Ares in a dance of death. Your strength is admirable, Hercules, Ares taunted, parrying a strike. But strength alone will not save you from your fate. With a guttural roar, Hercules pushed against Ares' strength, determination coursing through his veins. I am Hercules. I will forge my own fate. He delivered a powerful blow that sent Ares staggering, his eyes narrowing in anger. Realizing that Ares would bring ruin upon the battlefield, Hercules seized the moment and charged forward, swinging his club in an arc that echoed through the divine realm. He struck Ares with all his might, and with that blow, the god of war was sent reeling back, the shadows that clung to him dissipating like mist under the sun. As Ares fell, a moment of silence enveloped the battlefield. But it was a silence deceiving, a quiet before a cataclysm. Fool, Ares hissed, regaining his footing, his face twisted with rage. You have but delayed the inevitable. The spirits will rise again, and you shall know the weight of your failure. With a swift motion, he disappeared into darkness, leaving behind a haunting echo that reverberated in Hercules' ears. The shadows grew thick, and the malevolence of the spirits returned, clawing at his resolve. Stand firm, Hercules shouted to his warriors who were still in awe of the clash. We must fight together. We must banish this darkness once and for all. They rallied behind him, swords drawn, fear transformed into fierce determination. Hercules led the charge against the spirits, facing the onslaught with newfound strength. The cries of the fallen warriors mingled with their own, a symphony of both despair and hope. As the battle raged on, Hercules felt the weight of destiny pressing upon him. Each swing of his club became a heartbeat, echoing the rhythm of the earth itself. He fought not just for survival, but for every soul that had ever dared to dream of freedom. His warriors followed, their spirits intertwined with his in a dance of defiance. Together, he shouted, his voice a beacon amidst the storm. Together, we shall bend fate to our will. And so they fought, united against the tide of darkness. The battlefield, once a canvas of despair, transformed into a testament of perseverance. With each spirit they vanquished, Hercules felt the chains of destiny loosening, the shadows receding. Hades, sensing his hold weakening, screamed in rage. You cannot escape your fate, Hercules. It is woven into the very fabric of your being. But Hercules, with his heart ablaze, lifted his club high, the golden light radiating from within him, illuminating the shadows. I am not a pawn in your game, Hades. I will forge my own destiny. With a final, resounding blow, Hercules struck the ground, sending shockwaves through the air. The light burst forth, engulfing the battlefield, banishing the spirits into the depths of the abyss from whence they came. And in that moment the darkness shattered, revealing the dawn anew. As the sun broke over the horizon, casting golden rays across the land, Hercules stood amidst the remnants of battle, weary but unbroken. The cheers of his warriors filled the air, a symphony of victory. Yet, as he looked around, he could not shake the feeling that this was but a chapter in a much greater saga. The gods may have fought against him, but Hercules had emerged stronger. He had faced despair, death, and divine wrath, and still, he stood defiantly against the tides of fate. The path ahead would not be easy. More trials awaited him, woven in the tapestry of his destiny. But he was Hercules, son of Zeus, a hero forged in the fires of adversity, and he would face whatever came with honor, strength, and the heart of a warrior. As the dawn's light spilled across the battlefield, Hercules stood amidst the remnants of chaos, the echoes of battle still reverberating in his ears. The air, thick with the scent of the god of war, whose fury crackled in the air like a brewing storm. Foolish demigod, Ares bellowed, his voice a tempest. You think you can defy the will of the gods. You may have defeated the Minotaur and vanquished the spirits, but your true punishment is yet to come. Hercules narrowed his eyes, feeling the weight of death. Courage fought with renewed vigor, their spirits ignited by the flame of hope. Yet deep within, Hercules sensed that a greater darkness threatened to unfold. Suddenly, a blinding light burst forth from the depths of the battlefield, illuminating the chaos with an ethereal glow. A figure emerged, radiant and powerful, Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, her armor gleaming like the sun. "Hercules," she called, her voice cutting through the din of battle. "You must look beyond brute strength. Strategy and unity will be your salvation." Hercules, momentarily stunned by her presence, nodded. "Athena, we fight against the darkness, yet it seems insurmountable." "Then unite your forces," she replied, her voice commanding yet soothing. "Lead them not just with strength but with wisdom. Show them that together they can overcome anything." His heart surged at her words, and Hercules turned to his warriors, their faces etched with determination and fatigue. "Listen to me," he called, the weight of command resonating within his chest. "We stand at the precipice of our greatest trial. We have faced beasts and spirits, now we must face darkness itself. We will not fight alone, we will fight as one." With a rallying cry, the warriors surged forward, their hearts beating in unison, a wave of humanity crashing against the tide of monstrosity. The battlefield transformed into a cacophony of bravery, honor, and devotion, the ground shaking beneath the weight of their resolve. As the monsters fell, Hercules felt the tide of fate shift. Yet for every head severed, the Hydra retaliated with a ferocity that threatened to consume them all. Its tails lashed out, knocking warriors aside, sending them sprawling into the dust. Hercules fought through the chaos, determination etched upon his face. "Together we will prevail," he roared, his voice rising above the chaos. "Do not falter, we are heroes forged in the fires of adversity." With a final, united effort, Hercules and his warriors struck true, landing a devastating blow that severed the Hydra's last head. The creature roared, its death cry a thunderous echo across the battlefield, and with that, the darkness began to recede, collapsing into itself. As the dust settled, Hercules stood amidst the remains of the battle, a wave of exhaustion sweeping over him. Yet in the distance, he could see Ares and Phobos retreating, their forms dissolving into the shadows. "Today we have proven ourselves," Hercules shouted, raising his club high. "We have defied the darkness and emerged victorious." The warriors erupted in cheers, their spirits soaring, but as Hercules met their gaze, a weight settled in his chest. He had faced the darkness and emerged stronger, but he sensed that Ares and Phobos would return, their wrath unquenchable. Athena approached him, her expression solemn yet proud. "You have shown great courage, Hercules, but remember, this battle is but a moment in the ongoing war against darkness. Your journey is far from over. I will not shy away from the trials ahead," he declared, determination surging within him. "I will face whatever the gods throw at me. I am Hercules, son of Zeus, and I will defend what is right." With the dawn breaking anew, Hercules stood at the edge of the battlefield, the remnants of chaos behind him. The path. As the crimson sun dipped below the horizon, Streaks of orange and purple danced across the sky like the brushstrokes of a master painter. Hercules, still bearing the weight of his recent victory, felt a flicker of hope ignite within his heart. Yet the echoes of war still clung to the air, a reminder of the struggles that lay ahead. The battlefield, once a canvas of chaos and fear, now bore the mark of the heroic. But Hercules knew that a greater darkness loomed, eager to devour the light. "Look," one of the warriors breathed, pointing towards the horizon. "What new terror approaches?" Hercules squinted through the dust that still lingered in the air. Emerging from the twilight shadows was a colossal figure, tall and imposing, its silhouette framed by the dying light. It moved with a grace that belied its monstrous form, each step reverberating through the ground with an ominous rhythm. With a heart that pounded like a war drum, Hercules tightened his grip on his club and stepped forward, determination etched upon his brow. "Whatever it is, we will face it together," he declared, rallying his warriors with a fervor born of their shared experiences. But the creature that emerged from the depths of darkness was unlike any foe they had faced. It was a Minotaur, an aberration of nature, half man, half bull, its eyes glinting with the ferocity of an unquenchable thirst for blood. The beast let out a bellowing roar that cut through the air like a blade, striking terror in the hearts of even the bravest warriors. "By the gods," another soldier gasped, eyes widened in horror. "We cannot stand against such a monster." "Fear not," Hercules shouted, his voice a rallying cry against the encroaching darkness. "This creature is born of nightmares, but we are forged from courage. We will not be cowed by fear." With a primal scream, the Minotaur charged, its hooves pounding against the earth, an unstoppable force of nature. Time seemed to slow as Hercules braced himself, instinct and training propelling him forward. The air crackled with tension, anticipation swirling around them like a tempest. "Stand firm," Hercules bellowed, stepping to the side of the beast, narrowly avoiding the deadly horns that sought to gore him. He swung his club in a mighty arc, aiming for the Minotaur's flank. The blow landed with a resounding crack, and the creature stumbled, but it was far from defeated. The soldiers surged forward, emboldened by Hercules' bravery, yet the Minotaur recovered swiftly. It spun around, swinging its massive horns in a deadly arc, forcing the warriors to scatter. Hercules fought through the chaos, his muscles burning with exertion as he dodged and weaved. Together, he called, rallying his warriors once more. "Use your strength in unison. We can bring this beast to its knees." They formed a semicircle, a wall of steel and determination, thrusting spears and swinging swords as the Minotaur charged again. Hercules felt the pulse of battle surge through him, the rhythm of life and death intertwining as they fought against the formidable foe. "Strike low, aim for its legs," Hercules shouted, leading the charge alongside his comrades. He felt the weight of their shared resolve, binding them like a chain, each warrior forging their strength into a singular force. They struck the Minotaur's legs, and with a furious bellow, it reared back, but not before Hercules lunged forward, determined to deliver the final blow. Yet the beast fought back with relentless ferocity, its wounded pride igniting a wrath that was palpable. It lashed out, catching one warrior with a blow that sent him sprawling to the ground. A gasp escaped Hercules' lips as he witnessed the carnage unfold, the realization of mortality striking like a dagger to his heart. "Get up," Hercules shouted to the fallen warrior, desperate to ignite the dying embers of courage. "Fight, you are not alone." The soldier struggled to rise, and Hercules felt a surge of frustration. Victory was slipping through his fingers. With a primal roar, the Minotaur charged and Hercules met its gaze, a dance of fate unfolding before them. "This ends now," he declared, gathering every ounce of strength and determination. As the beast barreled toward him, Hercules ducked low and swung his club upwards, striking the Minotaur squarely beneath its jaw. The blow reverberated through the air, a symphony of power and rage. The creature staggered back, its eyes wide but not yet defeated. From the periphery of the battlefield, Ares watched, a gleeful smirk twisting his lips. "You think you can conquer the beast, Hercules? This is but a prelude to your demise." Hercules' heart raced as he felt the weight of Ares' words, but he refused to be swayed. He turned to his warriors, drawing strength from their fierce determination. "We will show Ares the true meaning of valor. This is our fight." Bolstered by his words, the warriors surged forward again, each strike a testament to their resilience. Hercules pressed on, swinging with renewed vigor, each blow landing true. He felt the tide beginning to shift, the Minotaur's strength waning, but it retaliated with a roar that echoed across the valley. Suddenly, a sharp pain pierced through Hercules' side as the Minotaur's horns grazed him. He staggered, pain blooming like a flower in the spring, threatening to pull him into darkness. "No," he gasped, fighting against the encroaching shadow. "I will not fall." Gathering his resolve, Hercules pushed through the pain and lunged again, his club connecting with the Minotaur's skull. The creature howled, staggering back as the force of the blow echoed through the battlefield. But instead of falling, it charged anew, fury blinding its senses. In that moment, Hercules saw the fear reflected in the eyes of his warriors. "This beast cannot break us. We are forged by our trials, and we shall emerge not just as warriors but as legends." With that rallying cry, his warriors surged forward, a tidal wave of courage crashing against the Minotaur. They struck with precision. He warned, heart pounding with trepidation. The sun dipped deeper into twilight, the horizon painted in foreboding hues, as the specters of Ares and Phobos re-emerged, a sinister glint in their eyes. "Foolish demigod," Ares bellowed, his laughter like thunder. "You may have slain the Minotaur, but the true test is yet to come. You will face the wrath of darkness unleashed." Hercules felt the pull of destiny tightening around him, a noose woven by the hands of the gods. "I will not be swayed by your threats. I will forge my own fate," he declared, the fires of defiance roaring within him. But Ares merely smiled, reveling in the chaos that was to unfold. "Your strength may falter, Hercules, but you are not alone. The shadows will rise again, and this time they will not fight alone." With that, the ground trembled once more, and from the darkness surged a new army of horrors, more formidable than the Minotaur, each creature a nightmare given flesh. Their eyes glinted with malevolence, and the air crackled with the tension of impending doom. "Defend yourselves," Hercules shouted, his voice rising above the chaos. "Together, we fight for our people, our homes." The warriors rallied behind him, their fear morphing into resolve. Hercules felt the tide of battle surge anew, the rhythm of life and death intertwining once more. They charged forward, a unified force against the tide of darkness, determined to reclaim their fate. As they clashed with the monstrous horde, Hercules fought with the fury of 1,000 storms. Each swing of his club echoed with the weight of his lineage, every blow a defiance against the forces of fate. He would not fall, he would not waver. Yet even as he fought, Hercules felt the shadows whispering, weaving their dark threads into